Hello homies, that is homies. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is about scammers and scamming in the music industry. So what do I mean by scammers? I mean it could be anybody from Africa to China to an actual record label that's trying to scam you out of money, a management firm, it doesn't matter. Anyway, they're trying to scam you and get money out of you in return for nothing whatsoever. Most commonly, this comes across as record labels trying to quote unquote sign you and asking for gift cards. So, if you ever get that, you do not pay for the gift card. Do not even give them the gift card if you decide to go and buy one. You're like, yeah, I want to go buy a gift card right now. Don't give it to them. Okay, it's just unwise. So, that being said, I'm going to go into a couple scams I've been through. Most commonly is going to be this one. Let me pull up the images real quick. So, first off, we have an email here from according to the email name, RCA Record Labels. It says, I'm going to put it on screen here right now. Dear Luxie's Music, I'm writing you in director of platinum or promotion of RCA Records, blah 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 blah, genuinely impressed, da 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 da, typical shit you see from scammers. And then, of course, it's signed by Frank Mondock with no foot letter. That is trigger number one, is no foot letter whatsoever, or footer to the email whatsoever with their contact information, their email, their phone number, and the address. Okay, any professional email is going to have a footer like here. This is from Entourage out of LA, who is currently managing me. Okay, I blurred out his information for his safety and just so he's not getting spam from a bunch of UG artists who frankly probably don't deserve it. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but it's just facts. This is what a proper email looks like from somebody who is in the industry and isn't trying to scam you, okay? This is what a proper email looks like. So, moving forward, we have a bunch of texts through. So, essentially, how this went is I shitboxed with this guy that was the RCA record label email, right? And I was like, yeah, send me over to wherever I need to talk to Keith Rothschild, because I know Keith Rothschild is the owner of RCA, or the head director for RCA. And he's like, okay, yeah. They set up a WhatsApp. Trigger number two, moving over to an app that is not directly a phone number or email is trigger number two, or their direct social media account. Okay, if they are not contacting you through your direct social media account, through your phone number directly, or through email directly with a proper email address, so at company.com, for example, or in this case, I can't show it, but yeah, at company.com, for example, instead of at gmail.com with a bunch of random numbers and shit beforehand, then it's not real. Sorry, it's not real. Anyway, moving on to these text messages. So, we have number one. He told me to send a text over. That's how they're predatory, is they make you wait a couple days for fear of missing out, and you're like, oh, it makes you think, oh, I'm about to blow up, dude, I'm about to get, it's psychology. Like, they are messing with the human psychology to make you think that you're special and to make you think that you're going to blow up through them when you're not. It's just a scam. So I was like, hey, it's 64 Luxury. I've been through a couple of these. He's like, thank you for your message. We're unavailable right now, but we'll respond as soon as possible. I feel free to share what you have in mind, right? Which is interesting. I've never seen one of those from a scammer before, which made me think, okay, this could potentially be real. And I was like, hey, I was scouted by Frank Mondock, and he told me to reach y'all on WhatsApp. I'm good, how are you? He said, okay, welcome, thanks for reaching out. Can you blah, 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 send your music over? So I sent my streaming platforms over to him. And then after that, he's like, okay, I'll check it out and get back to you soon. He's like, sorry for the late response. I've had a chance to listen. I'm impressed with your unique sound. Typical shit that scammers say. This, that, and the third, da, 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 da. And it's like, oh, okay. He's asking where I'm from. and just basic questions, essentially like where I'm from, what's my inspirations, what's my brand goal, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, yeah, I'm from Denver. I'm inspired by just music. I love any and all music types. I work at a smoke shop for a living. Pretty good with the owners. Pretty good friends with the owners. I want to convey an overarching theme to follow your passions. And then I told them I'm 24. So here's the way I go about this. This is good practice for when you actually are in the room with a record label. Always practice with these scammers like you actually are in the room with these record labels. Because there's no harm in getting the practice in there before it actually happens. Like, I have a meeting in 6 months with a record label. Again, I don't know the record label yet, but I have a meeting in 6 months with a record label, and I need to practice for that. And this was good practice for me. Just play nonchalant, be very chill, explain and answer questions that are asked. It's fairly simple stuff. Anyway. He goes on and on and on. He's like, I appreciate the confidence and transparency in your numbers. He asked how many numbers I have. I was like 9K monthly. He's like, that's a solid foundation to build on. Regarding the pitch, we don't manage, we scale. If we move forward, DSPs, trying to prove something to me. I'm like, okay, all right, yeah, let's get to the paperwork is essentially what I said. And he's like, all right, good. So here we go. We're interested in signing you a development deal with our label. And I was like, sick, let's go. Right. So he sends over the paperwork, right? He sends over the paperwork. And oh my God, dude. How do I describe this without sounding rude? The paperwork has a law firm, right? Has American law firm as that's already trigger number 3 right there, is American law firm. So I was already thrown off by that. Initially I was like, wow, I'm gonna blow up, this looks really official. I'm gonna show it on screen right now what this quote unquote contract looks like. It looked very official, no broken English, but I started looking deeper and I was like, American law firm, I've never heard of them. Usually it's attorney or Mumford and Sons or whatever. I'm using a musician's name, but law and attorney is usually how it goes. And I'm like, okay, this can't be real. So I zoom in and do a reverse Google image search, and when I do that, it pulls up vector stock images. Vector stock images for American law firms, and I just find that so funny. So I responded to his request. I was like, look, I appreciate the opportunity, I appreciate you reaching out, but if we're gonna push forward, I need a professional email to reach out. I need somebody to reach out via phone number, or I need official paperwork that isn't pressed by vector stock images. It needs to be a real law firm behind it. It needs to be a real contract, and it needs to be a real email and phone number contacting me. I appreciate it, the opportunity, but I'm not interested. Thank you. And that's how I left them off. So these are the kinds of scams you're going to see in this industry, and it's really bad right now. And I feel bad for anybody who's fallen for these scams because they're so abundant. Like, they are everywhere. There's these which are in the middle. There's the really good ones. Like, I had one from Great Day back when I was in Tucson, Arizona, and Great Day Records. This scam was like, I signed the paperwork because it was that good, and the paperwork turned out to be faulty, so it wasn't an issue, But some of these scams are really good, like, in this industry. So that one was good. A really bad one I had was for music promo. So somebody wanted me to pay them $1,000 for music promotion, and that shit was like, they were promising a reach of 1 million people, and I was like, there's no way, dude. $1,000 for 1 million people, and SoundCloud's mostly bots. Yeah, no, I think I'll pass. It's gonna be bots, dude. Like, and it's $1,000. Like, no, I'll pass. Anyway, Ways you can tell that it's a scam for sure. Broken English, number 1. Hey, Mr., and then your first name. Number 2. That's number 2. Number 3. Stock images used in paperwork. That's number 4. Or number 3. Sorry, I lost count. That's number 3. Number 4 is moving you over to another app rather than contacting you directly through email or your phone number. Moving you to an app like WhatsApp or Snapchat or Instagram. Well, Instagram, it depends on the account, but you get what I mean. Most commonly is WhatsApp and Telegram. Okay, moving over to those 2 apps. No go. Not real. What else? Improper English. I think I already said that. English that's not put together properly or doesn't make any sense. Anyway, you get the shtick. These scams are everywhere, man. Just avoid your SoundCloud DMs unless it's an artist. If an artist is hitting you up, work with them, man. Work with them. Absolutely. Like, go for it. But, like, if it's somebody claiming to be an A&R or a record label, it's more than likely a scam. For reference, Entourage, I'm going to put you on a sauce here right now. I'm going to put you on a sauce, and I hope you listen. Entourage out of LA and New York reached out to me through a boosted Instagram post that a friend of mine made on my music. Okay? That's what made them reach out. They saw that Instagram post, they reached out and they're like, hey, I really like this sound that you have. And they reached out via email. Or no, sorry, they followed me first on Instagram. They followed me on They followed me on Instagram first. Then they reached out via email through my contact information. They sent me an email and they're like, hey, this is da-da-da-da out of Entourage, LA, New York. And I was just saying, I really like your sound and I really think you have potential here. And then that's where it started, just as a human being, not like this whole business proposal right off the bat, like instant gratification like these scammers do. No, he wanted to talk to me and have a conversation, not just an instant business proposal or like instantly going to business and questionnaires. He's like, no, he complimented me. So that's how I knew it was real, and that's how it became reality. Anyway, have a great rest of your day, night, evening, afternoon, homies. That is homies. Love yourself, take care, and Zaijin, alright? Bye.